Escape rooms, the future of advertising. This past Tuesday, CW and Electric City Escape teamed up to host a Nancy Drew themed escape room to promote the premiere of the new show, Nancy Drew. This isn't the first instance of escape rooms helping promote new shows, either premiering or returning. HBO has done this with shows like Game of Thrones. So what is it about escape rooms that makes them great, for advertising?
Nancy Drew was done by Electric City in Pennsylvania?
Yeah.
In Scranton?
Scranton, Pennsylvania.
Get the hell out of here.
Yep.
Huh.
They had CW news anchors go in and actually play the game as well, and then apparently it was a really fun time. But it also was a great way for people to get to know that they were premiering the show Nancy Drew, which was a great theme for escape rooms anyway, as I believe she's a detective.
Yes.
Truthfully, I don't know a ton about Nancy.
Well, Nancy Drew also got a big popularity shout out from Stranger Things this year because they kept referencing the one girl as. Was that Stranger Things?
I don't remember. I don't specifically recall that.
I think I'm part of the 2% that hasn't watched Stranger Things.
Yeah, it was Nancy Drew. Yeah, it was Stranger Things. The one girl. Who is she? She's one of the main characters' older sister. Is working for
Is her name Nancy?
Yeah, and she goes to work for a news publishing place, and she keeps trying to get real cases to cover, and so they call her Nancy Drew. But yeah, Nancy Drew was definitely a major iconic character once upon a time. That falls into Carmen Sandiego and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So I'm shocked it's taken this long for a reboot. CW probably would not have been my first choice of where it would go. But Nancy Drew is a kid's thing. So
right.
I guess my point there is that CW, although it's a lot of content that is viewable by families, it is usually aimed a little more towards late teens, early 20s.
Right.
Nancy Drew, I'd figure, would be aimed more towards 11 to 14.
I got late teens from some of the advertisements that I saw promoting the show, just based off the cases that they were trying to take on.
But, I would even say for us it'd be worth checking out just to see what they've done with it.
Field trip?
Well...
I don't know if the escape room itself is necessarily still open.
Yeah.
Believe it was just to promote the show.
Yeah,
However,
the show's coming up soon. I don't know how CW keeps finding room for content. They keep launching more and more shows, and it's then not enough is canceling to...
I actually had written on here, too. I didn't say it out loud, but how cool would it be for Crisis on Infinite Earths, the escape room, right? They did the Nancy Drew escape room. Now
it's
they
impossible.
I didn't say it had to be possible. I said it'd be cool.
Sure, but it would be impossible. I mean,
one room you're working with Firestorm, the next room you got to work with the Flash.
You wouldn't have enough rooms. Even here, you wouldn't have enough rooms. Here's these 10 rooms. There are way more than 10 characters in Crisis this year.
You'd almost need an escape room theme park.
You would, and and you'd have to do it in a warehouse so you could do red skies across the crimson red skies across the whole place. But I mean, they've got. There was just a newspaper article that got shown with Michael Keaton's Batman.
I remember seeing that. Yeah.
You've got Burt Ward returning to look up at the skies and go, "Holy crimson skies!" And they've got all these cameos that they're tying together every single universe. It was just confirmed, too, that the show Titans on DC Universe is part of Crisis.
Really? I was actually a really big fan of that show when it first got announced, and then I ended up not following up and watching through it just because I didn't get on the streaming service. But I heard it was amazing how they redid some of the Titans.
I've heard it was absolute trash. But having said that season 2 is shaping up to fix a lot of what was wrong.
Okay.
And bring it down quite a few notches because they really had Dick Grayson as an absolute asshole, and they had a trailer where the infamous line of "fuck Batman," and playing on this whole. There was always supposed to be Dick Grayson leaves Bruce Wayne to go become his own man because he doesn't agree with his tactics and doesn't want to be in his shadow anymore.
But he was never straight up like, fuck Batman.
That's just not his attitude.
No, it really isn't.
So it was kind of like a total derailment of the character there. But, I don't know.
So what makes... The whole point of this topic, though, is that what makes escape rooms themselves great for advertising? This was a marketing move, what they did, to promote the premiere of the show. And this isn't the first time it's done, and like I said before, HBO did this with, like, Game of Thrones and stuff like that. So
I was brought into Showtime offices for Dexter and Homeland.
They did... Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, you know what? We actually ended up talking about the Dexter thing. That's right. I remember this conversation.
So, which was super cool to me because I loved Dexter. Homeland, not too much of a fan. But Dexter was one of my favorite shows at the time.
Yeah, I remember when I first heard about Dexter. I don't know. I didn't really watch this Dexter. I knew about a different Dexter. So when someone asked me, they were like,
"Oh,
hey.
The animated?"
Yeah, they asked me like, "Oh, did you hear about the new Dexter episode?" I'm like, "There's a new Dexter episode?" They're like, "Yeah, he chopped up a body and threw it to pieces in a lake." I'm like, "Dexter did that? What?"
Wow!
This show's gotten real dark.
I can't believe they've taken it this far. Is it a reboot?
Was it his sister? Anyway.
Yeah, it's not it's not uncommon.
No, it's not something that's unheard of, but it's just an interesting take for like a promotion, you know what I mean?
Yeah, like for example, I know San Diego Comic-Con had tons of escape room content to market products. New York had like nothing.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, you were at New York Comic-Con,
there was
yeah.
none.
So it's not everywhere. Last year it was. Last year New York had a ton too, but it's used a lot for marketing. And then you could always see too, like if you keep an eye out, like the last Mission Impossible movie set up a mini pop-up escape room at the movie theaters.
Really?
So it was like one weekend only at select theaters. You could go play the Mission Impossible escape room game and then go see the movie. So yeah, it's been used a lot.
Okay.
Walking Dead does something like every year.
I didn't even know about the Mission Impossible thing. That would have been really cool to go do because I was a huge Mission Impossible fan as a kid.
So yeah, all kinds of clever stuff can be done with it. It really is a great way to immerse people in a given property. So 100%. Also, before we close out, because we talked about this last week on the show, one of our viewers had commented about a Harry Potter game near them getting hit with a cease and desist.
Exactly what we said before, too. We mentioned this last week. If you open up these games and you don't talk to Sony, you don't talk to Warner Brothers, you don't talk to Disney, they're going to come for you. You get enough popularity, they're going to put that contract on the table and say, where's our cut?
Yeah, they didn't close them out, but I did a little bit of research on it, too, just for, sake of topic, but they were forced to remove any titling, any character names, any reference to characters, like fine-tooth comb, get it all out.
Yeah.
So
it ended up becoming kind of one of those, I imagine it's going to become kind of one of those washdowns where it's like, it's not Hogwarts Mystery, it's just Wizard Place. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Which is, it's sad that it happens, but that's the risk that you took, man.
I kind of hope they got fined up the ass, personally. Because I'm always kind of on the create your own stuff.
I come from, I understand, fandoms and whatnot. Being a part of different fandom communities, it's always super exciting to be able to work with a thing that you love most.
Of course it is. But that's why you can't charge for it.
Exactly. No, that's the thing. You can't monetize it. And that's the thing that you run into with, a lot of, YouTube videos using other characters' likenesses or, these pop-up places that open, these escape rooms, or even how Spirit Halloween will have, a Super Mario costume that's just Italian plumber,
Italian plumber.
I saw that costume last week, actually.
Yeah, you talked about it last week on the show. That's, there's two different ways to go about it. Like Electric City Escape was approached by CW,
Mm-hmm.
so by all means.
When you have that licensing and you have the contracts all set up, by all means, knock yourselves out and create something amazing. I'd love to go see it.
Maybe we should just make 3 Batman games. And we hope you'll join us next time, 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Subscribe to our YouTube channel if you haven't below. Like, comment, subscribe. And